Hey, what's going on? I wanted to do a video because I need to. I've got to change a 3-prong dryer outlet to a 4-prong outlet for a new house installation, putting a used dryer into one of our investment properties. And so I'm going to walk you through that on how to change out. I'll walk you through how to change that 3-prong into a 4-prong. First thing you're going to need is the actual new plug. This is a 4-prong dryer plug. I'll have a link in the show notes to something similar. This is the existing 3-prong that we need to change out. So in the back we've got a panel here with this is where everything is connected. You want to make sure, of course, everything's unplugged before you start to do all this. And we will take this panel off. You may need a tool to do that if it's tight. And then there you can see how everything is connected. So I'll get this camera set up and walk you through the process. The first thing we're going to do is take a Phillips head and disconnect this support wire here. The next thing you're going to need is some pliers, and you've got to actually take these nuts off, and they're usually fairly tight. So if you have a wrench, you can use that to take them off, but what you want to do is make sure they don't drop down, because it's a pain to get them out of the bottom once they drop down. So go ahead and loosen them all up. And depending on how your thing is connected, you don't have to take them off completely, because they do just slip on there. So just loosen them up enough to where they don't impede your new connection. So those come right off. And another thing we need to do is remove this ground. That's the difference between the 3-prong and the 4-prong. There's one additional wire that connects right in here to where this ground is. So this middle one we need to disconnect completely to get that connection separated. So you don't want to drop this into your dryer. So we'll remove that nut, this wire here, which we'll temporarily put right there. And then we need to get this plate that connects over to the ground off. So there's a screw that comes with this. You can just loosen it up. Most people would use a wrench for this, but I'm just going to use pliers because it's more common. Everybody has a set of pliers handy. And it takes a little while to get it started. Once you do, it'll come right out. Do it by hand yet. Just want to keep something up under there so it doesn't drop out and fall. You can feel back there, back behind it. See how much longer it's got. It's pretty long bolt. We're getting close. There we are. Okay. So I don't know if we ever need to reuse this, but I'll just, I saw somebody else do this. They fold it back on to itself in case they need to use it for a different house that has the old connection. You want to put this wire back on here, and you could just slip this back on. Like that. So now we're ready for our new wires. So this comes with a clamp. So we've got green down here, which is the neutral, the white in the middle, black on the right, like that. You see how we've got the full hull, so we do have to take these nuts completely off. So I'm gonna put my finger below there so I don't drop this thing. Alright, so I'll put these in. We'll set the black on there. The white in the middle. And the red over here. And then we've got to put our new green down here. This is where we use the bolt that we took out previously, and this is where it's gonna get dropped if we drop it. It is right now. this is the tricky part. Actually, I'm going to disconnect the white because the white is in my way. Now maybe I'll be able to access this better. Okay. Just get that tightened up. All right, now we'll put the white one back on. And we'll tighten these all back down. Make sure they're nice and snug. All right, so now we can put on this new bracket to keep this from pulling if the dryer was to get a heavy tug on the line there. So push that in a little bit. It's a bigger line, so it's a little bit to wrestle with here. Kind of gotta get it lined up and it's tricky. Pretty tight. Probably better off putting this in before you tighten everything. That's what I'm thinking. This hole is not as big because it's a bigger wire here. So I decided not to leave it like that and actually took the old clamp because of the way this hole was drilled. It was a little too small for the new one. So I just took the old one and fit it up in there, and it fit nicely, and now it's all snug. So we've got all the 4 connections, and this is now snug like it should be. So I just had to fix that, couldn't leave that undone. So I'm going to put the panel back on and we'll be good to go. So that's it. Other than this crappy thing that I did, that's pretty much how it goes in. Hope that was semi-helpful, and apologize for this deal. Maybe you'll do better on yours.